go. Hi everybody. Oh, looks like we're live. We'll just wait for a few people to jump on here. And when you're on, if you can let us know that you can hear me, then that would be great. Tonight we're going to talk all about lope departures, and the question was, help, my lope departures are not pretty. So we're going to get to that. Before we get to all of that, if you're new here, then welcome. And my name is Lindsay. My husband Jess will be with me in just a second. He's just taking care of a horse here. Oh, good. It looks like you guys can hear me. Hi, Marie. Okay, super. So if you have not been here before, then we are here every Tuesday night at 7:30, and we're answering questions that were sent in by you guys. If you have a question or a topic that you'd like for us to address, then you can send that in to us at hayescofelph@gmail.com, and we will add that to our list and try to tackle that maybe in January or February. We have a couple of comments that are, or a couple of questions that are already lined up that we're excited for the next few weeks, but we can definitely add that in. If you want to watch the replays, so all of the replays are available. If you want to watch a replay, the best thing to do is to be on our email list. If you're not already on our email list, then you can sign up on our website. You can sign up if you're finding us on Facebook. On the cover page of our Facebook, there's a little blue button that says sign up. Or if you're finding us on Instagram, in our bio, there is a link that has all the information for signing up. So once you sign up there, every Tuesday morning, like everybody who's on the list, this morning we sent out an email with the topic for tonight, with the replay from last week, and any of the kind of things that we have going on. So if we have a new tack item, or if we have clinics coming up, or anything like that, that all goes in that email. You guys are the first ones to know. Shout outs for tonight. Shouting out to Deb Mates, who is watching us from Berks Falls, and we have a few other ladies that join us from Berks Falls as well.
Where's Berks Falls?
Berks Falls is near Huntsville in the Muskokas. And shout out to Steve Statura, who watches us from London. And I thought it was funny. I'm shouting out to both of these people, and they are not horse people. I know they're not horse people, but they have been watching, and they did let me know that they've been watching, and I wanted to shout them out because I thought it was cool that, I mean, obviously I love it when horse people are watching, and you're getting some of the benefit of some of the tips and stuff that we're giving, but I thought it was cool that they are not into horses and that they're watching, and that they kind of have an inside view of what it's like from our perspective, because I think sometimes we're so removed, livestock and horses, and everything is so removed from everyday life that it's good for that. It's good for that exposure. It's good for them to hear about what it's like from our perspective. I know I appreciate that about other industries that I'm not involved in. So I thought that was cool that those guys were watching, and now that you're back and we've gone through all of the housekeeping things, I guess we can talk about the topic for tonight. So the topic for tonight is help, my lope departures aren't pretty. So what we're going to start with, and before we do that, we have a special offer for you guys tonight. So stick with us, because we're going to announce that just a little bit later. We're going to get through some of these kind of questions about lope departures, and then we're going to talk to you about that. And you want to stick around for that because it's very cool. So lope departures aren't pretty. Let's talk about what makes a good lope departure.
Drive from the back end.
That's it.
Soft
That's all
in
there
the
is.
front,
Good.
drive
We're done.
from the back end. That's all you got to do.
Okay. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Where do people go wrong?
I think what I see all the time is people just give them their face and kick them forward and think, well, I'm loping, so I've got a lope departure. And then after the horse is loping, they try to gather them up and get control, which would be the equivalent of taking your car out onto the road, turning the corner, slamming down on the gas pedal and throwing your steering wheel away. You got to have them soft in the face. They have to be controlled the whole way through, not ducking, not diving, not anything. And then when you put your leg on, they give you your lead and they drive from behind and push forward. I think the biggest thing with a good lope departure is it looks very anticlimactic. It has to be no BS. That horse just has to say, yes, sir. Where would you like me to go?
Yeah, it's smooth. I think, so what makes a poor lope departure? Let's talk about that.
There's a million things.
There's
People
a lot of
giving
things
them
that
their
can go
face,
wrong,
kicking them,
Yeah.
allowing that horse to trot and put his head out. Anything that horse just does not say yes, sir, or yes, ma'am, and do his job.
Scooting sideways into it, swishing the tail into it, leaping into it.
Anything where there is resistance and that horse does not say yes, sir, or yes, ma'am.
Right. Why is the lope departure so important, and why is it one of the things that we always start with when people come out? And most people don't, when they come out for lessons and things, they don't necessarily say like, my lope departure is ugly, like this person who asked this question, most people don't come out and say like, my lope departure really sucks, can you help me with it? A lot of times people will say, can you help me with my lead change, or can you help me with my large fast circle, or can you help me with, bridling up while I'm in the lope? And it starts with the lope departure. For us, it starts with the lope departure. Can you speak to that a little bit, and how that happens? Why is the lope departure so important, and how does that kind of tie in with the rest of the lope?
I think when people come and they say they want help with the lope, or they want help with the loping, or they want help with a lot of people don't realize how much of a problem they have not having control. It is a lack of control, and it's the very start of it. So if you start out without control, if your horse is leaning, lugging into it, hesitate, anything that is a lack of control, then you have to fix it as you're going. In a judged event, you've already set it up where the judge is going, this isn't working. I hope it gets better, but it looks horrible now. In a timed event, you're slow because now you're having to get that horse's attention and come back to you. And in general, riding is just not safe because they don't have control. You go to lope, let's say somebody's just even going for a trail ride, they go to lope down the road, but they can't control that horse in that first stride, in that stride. There's never a lack of control. So most people, when they come in, don't realize how little control they have. If I say go lope off, they're just happy if they got the lope and they've stayed on, which is a good goal. I like that goal. I try to achieve that every day. But you stay on by having control. You stay safe by having control. If that horse pushes out or pushes in half a foot, then that's a problem where the horse is not saying yes, sir. You're not setting them up for the whole ride to be saying, I will do this. I will say yes, sir. I will go into that softly, comfortably, with no BS. And then what happens is it snowballs as they're riding if they don't have that control. A phrase that I use all the time is, however you lope depart is how you will change leads. If a horse ducks a shoulder in a lope departure, I will put money on it. And that they will duck their shoulder down when they change leads. If a horse lurks forward, they will lurk forward when they change leads. It affects them so much because they're already in the mentality of not just saying yes, sir, or yes, ma'am. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Or am I just off?
No, that's all good. Good job.
Off on a tangent.
Great job. It's a good tangent. I just wanted to, Lacey, I saw that you're here. Hi. And I saw your question or your comment, I guess, which was about too much picking, constant picking from the rider. And I think, we've talked a little bit about what it looks like, what a poor departure looks like what the horse is doing, how the horse behaves. We haven't really talked about the difference between a good departure and a poor departure from the rider's perspective and what the rider's doing. Do you want to touch on that?
Well, I think when Lacey says picking, so what she's talking about is in the show horse world, a lot of people will leave center picking on that horse's mouth, going, pay attention. And right off the bat, that is a lack of control. It all goes back to it's a lack of control. If you're picking 3 times, that's like me nagging at my kids, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. They are not saying, yes, sir, what would you like me to do? So as soon as you're picking at that horse when you're showing, you're telling the judge, I don't have control. I'm not ready yet. I'm not prepared. I don't have control. A good lope departure, your hand simply comes up, which tells the horse to get ready. You put your leg on to push the hip forward and into the side that's going to be the lead. He goes freely when you give a voice cue to go forward and you plot your leg. And everything is in the middle of the spectrum of he's not jumpy and he's not lazy. He just has to say, yes, sir, I will go into this lope departure. And it's harder than it sounds. A good lope departure is very difficult. I say it all the time, especially in the ranch riding. To do a lot of transitions is way harder. Once you're loping, staying in the lope is much easier. It's the transition that makes or breaks it. So I mean, it's a maneuver that you need to work on a lot. And if you're happy that you just got to loping, which lots of people are, they say, well, I'm loping. It's a little tough, but
I got the correct lead.
Whatever degree of difficulty you want to strive for is what you'll get. Some horses are better at it. Some people are better at it. But a lot of it comes down to continuously in that training always being, you need to say yes, sir. You need to come to the game and play this sport. You need to say to me, yes, I will do as you want, because it's going to show up when you show in a lot of different places if they don't lope depart properly.
I saw a quote recently that I liked that was, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. I thought that was a really good one for lope departures, because it's like what you were just saying, where if your lope departure doesn't, or what did you say, how you depart into the lope is how you change leads. I mean, the lope departure, it's not always something that somebody feels like they need to do, but it feels like such an important thing to do.
And a lot of times if somebody comes to me and says they want to help changing leads, the first thing I do is say, okay, we're going to lope depart a bunch of times before we go change leads. Yeah. We're going to get that part not perfect, but we're going to work on that better. Yeah. And then your lead change will work so much better. A lot of times it is just there's a bit of resistance either on part of their face, their belly, just their willingness to go and be comfortable, and it all comes into play, and it shows up when you do the lope departure because you're pressure cookering their brain to do another maneuver.
What was that? Sorry. Pressure cookering them?
Pressure cookering them? You think that's the worst part of my English?
No, I think let's use that. You're pressure cookering them. Yeah. Okay, so just back to what it looks like to do a good departure from the rider's perspective, not from the rider's perspective, what the rider looks like for a good departure looks like very, very little. It appears like very, very little because, like you said, the horse is there. The horse is like present and available and willing, and as soon as the rider asks, and the rider should be able to ask very subtly, then the horse just appears to float out into the lope departure. So the horse is already collected or bridled up or whatever terminology you like to use for that. The hip is already positioned to the inside. When the rider asks to lope off, the horse doesn't have to toss its head. They don't have to do anything like that. That takes away all of the drama from the rider. The rider also has to bring their part of the game. So the rider also has to stay centered from side to side. Your horse can't lope off properly if you're sitting on one side or the other. The rider can't be tipped too far forward and looking down. The rider can't be interfering. What happens a lot in the beginning stages is when a rider lopes off, they snatch with the reins as the horse lopes off, and then the horse gets more and more worried about the lope. Or if the rider isn't clear enough about what lead the horse should be on, then the horse goes into the wrong lead and gets pulled on by the rider, and then that adds to the excitement and the intensity in the departure. So the horse gets really anxious and worked up, and then that usually snowballs as well, where then the rider starts to tip forward more, starts to get their body out of position more, or whatever. So we've got to get both parts coming together. We've got to get the horse being available and well schooled and responsive to all of the aids. We've got to get the rider knowing what all of the pieces are to put together, how to troubleshoot things when they go wrong, and then we've got to put them together and work consistently enough that we're getting that the horse, when the horse is doing the right thing, that becomes the familiar part. We do that over and over again. It becomes familiar. Then the lope departure becomes muscle memory for the rider and for the horse. And then everything else is easier, right? Then the lead change is easier. The fast lope, you're more balanced for your fast lope. You're more balanced setting up into your lead change. Everything is better.
I think from the people point of view too is common problems. I mean, is definitely letting go of the steering wheel, letting go and dropping that rein for a second, allowing him to go in any direction and any speed. And people usually either lean forward, in which case the rear end's off the saddle, they're not driving properly, and then they start kicking and poking, or they sit way back and kick them like John Wayne and the horse jumps forward. Just sit in balance and just go with the momentum and let that horse do a quality lope off. I mean, the horses do it out in the field every day, so you just have to stay in balance, in momentum, and let that horse truly lope off.
Without getting in the right. So here is where we get to our big announcement for tonight, and I'm really excited to tell you this because I know some of you guys are watching these videos and trying to implement some of the tips and things that we're giving you, and it can be hard. And the special offer that we wanted to talk to you about tonight is that we've actually created a 3-part video series for you all about the lope departure, and it's free. So it's actually available now. It's already available already. Victoria's saying my hands look massive in my gloves. So thanks.
They are huge.
They're
bigger than mine.
Well, they're
That's why I don't arm wrestle her.
Yeah. Yes, so we have this 3-part video series for you, and we're breaking down all of the parts of the lope departure for the horse and for the rider, and everything from how far back your leg should come when you ask the hip to come to the inside. How much should the hip come to the inside? What does it look like to keep the horse forward through the transition so that they are available, like we've been talking about, or they have the forward motion, or they have that momentum. So we've put that together. It's in a 3-part series. So the first part is all about bridling the horse up. The second part is about bridling the horse up and moving the hip to the inside. And then the third part is the actual lifting out into the lope. There is also a riding plan and an audio lesson for you if you would like it. We have priced it at $9. We've discounted it hugely for right now, so it's only priced at $9 if you want to have those as well. The riding plan would be printed off. You can take it to the barn. What our Momentum members like to do is print them off and take them to the barn with them. The audio lesson is something that you can play right from your phone. You don't have to have any special software. You don't have to have an app or anything. You can just play it right on your phone. If you have headphones, you can put your headphones in, or you can just play it out loud on your phone. And I am taking you through those 3 steps. We're breaking the lope departure down into 3 steps. And I'm taking you through those 3 steps, as well as talking about exactly what your body should be doing, kind of troubleshooting some of the different things, like if your horse likes to side pass into the lope, if your horse likes to toss their head into the lope, if your horse likes to rush or anticipate at center, a lot of those things. So you can find that. You can find it right now if you're ready at our website. So hayescofalperformanceHorses.ca/lope. So I'm going to add that to the text as soon as we're done this video. I'm going to add this to the caption, and I'm going to add it in the comments for you. And I will be putting it all over our social media in the next little while so that everybody can get their hands on it for a little while at the price, at the $9 price. The videos are free, but like I said, the riding plan and the audio lesson is $9 if you want to have those as well. Last time we did something like this, we did the trot video lesson in January of last year, and it was a hit. There's 128,000 people that have watched it now, and we have got messages from all over the world, people trying out those videos and that exercise. So I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be awesome. I think that it has something in there for all of you to help all of you, no matter where you're at with your riding, whether you are just starting to work on the lope or whether you're competing, internationally and you're trying to increase your score in the reining pen. There's a little bit of everything in there for you. The videos are short, so they're not going to take up a lot of your time. The videography was all done by Melissa Glidden, who does all of our videography for Momentum. She's amazing. She does it professionally. And she and I took a lot of time filming different angles and things, showing exactly how far back to bring the leg, exactly how much the horse's hip should come in from different angles. So you are going to get, I hope, all of your questions answered about lope departures with those videos. And if you don't think you need to work lope departures, you should still look at these, because I can almost guarantee that you'll find some stuff that is helpful for you or is new. Are you going to watch them so you can implement it tomorrow?
Can I get one of those things where I listen to it while I'm riding?
You want my audio lesson?
Yeah. If I could figure out even how to make the audio thing on my phone work, it'd be all right.
You don't even have to do anything. You just have to push play. Just plays like.
I could do that.
You could handle this. I'm confident you could handle this. Okay, so that's the big announcement. That's a special offer. I hope you guys take advantage of it. hayescofalperformanceHorses.ca/lope. I will add all of that information into the caption and into the comments for you so that you can find it. I know you're going to get loads and loads of value out of that, so I'm excited for you guys to get your hands on that and the riding plan and audio lesson. If you want to have me in your ear, elaborating a little bit more and talking you through it in real time. That's all we got for this week, right? Next week I am by myself, and I hope you guys will join me next week on Tuesday at 7:30. If you are interested,
You'll be cold and I'll be warm.
Yep, awesome. It's gonna be great.
I'll be in the south where it's nice and warm today.
Awesome. If you want to join our challenge, we are having our Cut the Chaos challenge again, and that will be in the new year, right in the very beginning of the new year, so we can go through all of your riding goals and things. Just keep your eyes out on our page, or if you're not signed up for our email list, then make sure you get on there, because we are going to have that again. And our online program Momentum will be open again in January as well. If you have a question that you would like for us to address in one of these lives, you can send it in to us, hayescofalph@gmail.com. If you're interested in the Momentum program, you can find that information at momentumhcph.com. I think that's it. I think that's all we got. I saw a bunch of you guys liked our stalls, pictures of our stalls that we just put up. We're pretty excited about those. There's a lot of buzz around the barn about the next phases.
Not even done this phase and I got more to do.
Yeah. On to the next, on to the next. All right, have a good night, you guys. I will see you next week.
See you later.